Okay. Um, so I learned last year when I was a waitress exactly how mean people are to waitresses. And I'll let you know right now that it was a shitty diner, like it wasn't a nice restaurant, and I worked the night shift and it was in a bar district. And I know I can be very sensitive, but I burst into tears maybe like a dozen times because people were so mean to me. And I normally tried my hardest to please people, and it wasn't just because I needed my customers to pay me or I wouldn't get paid, but it was because I have a passionate hatred for being yelled at, and I will do virtually anything I can to avoid that. And a lot of times that meant paying for other people's food. Um, and I guess I did this more when I first started, and I got better at standing up for myself later. But even though I did this, I got yelled at on a regular basis, and I maybe deserved it once. So 99.8% of the time, it just wasn't necessary, and it really upset me. And the people who yelled at me made me absolutely miserable, and I would dread going to work because of them. Um, but there are like a few people who really stood out in how terrible they treated me. And right now, I'd like to mention one man who was particularly horrible. He came in around like 6:50 in the morning, which is already annoying because I leave at 7. But that's not his fault. Except he was the kind of person who was immediately rude. Just like you can't please some people, and they think they're a lot better than you because you're a waitress, and I don't know, the diner they're at is beneath them, and the staff who works there just doesn't deserve to be treated well or something. I don't personally understand why people choose to go to restaurants that they think are beneath them and whose staff they don't think deserve, like, are worthy of being nice to. Anyway, I don't really appreciate that, but he snapped at me immediately. Like, he snapped at me when I asked him for his order, and he snapped at me when I delivered his order. It's just like talking to him, just me being there was a huge inconvenience, and he was really condescending, and it sucked. And, so anyway, his potatoes were apparently undercooked, and I believe that because a lot of times they were undercooked in the morning. So he flipped out at me. He got really mad, and it was totally unnecessary because I'm really compliant, even if you're nice. And like some of the servers there had attitude problems, but I didn't. I was nice to everyone. But he yells at me anyway, even though I'm not the one who cooked his food, and I offer to bring them back and cook new potatoes. But he's like, no, if you take my eggs and bacon back, they'll be cold by the time you bring them, bring them back here. So, no, you're not taking my plate away. And I start telling them that I can bring the eggs and bacon back right away. I'll just put them on another plate. But he's really kind of too pissed to listen to me, and he's just like, I can't believe how much you suck. Get out of my face. So when I take him his tab, he grabs it, and he's like, okay, but I'm not paying for the potatoes, right? Because they were undercooked, so you're giving me a discount, right? And I'm like, I don't, really have the authority to take things off your tab, and the manager isn't here during the night shift, and he's like, you know what? Whatever, you little cunt. Give me the card, or run my card, I have to go. So I bring him his tab, I bring him his receipt, and he puts an X where his signature is supposed to go, and then he reinforces the 0 in my tip, like this. It's totally rude. And it wasn't me who made your potatoes, right? You know that wasn't me. Like, I didn't bring you those potatoes to ruin your life. I'm not sure why you flipped out at me. Also, if you don't tip your server, they're actually paying to serve you, which isn't fair, but they, at least at my restaurant, the servers had to tip the busboys out 5%, and we got paid about $1 an hour. So if you don't tip me, not only do I not get paid, but I pay money to serve you. And not tipping in the United States of America is completely unacceptable, ever, because servers really do only get paid about $1 an hour. At least we did at my restaurant. So I don't know what you were trying to accomplish by yelling at me. if you were trying to upset me, then, you succeeded. I was really upset, and it's clearly still bothering me because I'm still talking about it. Anyway, I don't know how old you are, but people your age should know how to treat other people. You made me feel about this big, and nobody deserves to be treated that way. But the real moral of the story here is that sometimes being not a dick does pay off, because I would have helped you pay for your potatoes if you were nice.